What's up, you guys? You know what? I decided to bring back my little tea and card format because this is my favorite way to bring you guys messages. This feels the most natural, the most aligned. So that is exactly what we're gonna do. And I wanted to do like a little intro and then I'll pull the cards because I know that it will all connect in. But I was like about to pop off here a month ago, and as soon as I started, I could feel that something wasn't quite right. Like, I'm like, feels a little bit off still. It was feeling heavy, it was feeling clunky. I mean, number one, I wasn't using the cards, and for me, like, this doesn't feel like work. This is the way that my gifts want to be expressed, I feel. This is one of the ways, and it feels so natural. So that was part of the issue. And the other thing was that, I don't know, sometimes when you're going through these transition periods, like, you really have to lean into the silence. And you can't force the change. It's like you can't force the cocoon to open before it's ready. I knew that in that moment. I'm like, rather than try and force it prematurely, just relax and you'll get a little more insight, and then you can do what you need to do. So that's exactly what I did. I waited a few more weeks. And you know what? I had a huge breakthrough. And part of the breakthrough is that, and you guys that have been here from the beginning are going to appreciate this, because a lot of you that are watching this have been here since I started. Like 2016, 2017. And I've had a business of some form, a healing arts business, since I would say officially 2013, but 2012, I started it and was practicing. Then I started to charge later. And then 2013, I would say I officially kicked it off, doing body work and Reiki, massage. I've learned a lot, you guys. And I've gotten a lot of experience. And I've learned that, again, I feel my life path, like you guys that resonate, is sacred union. But sacred union is so much more than just a romantic relationship. I mean, honestly, to have the kind of relationship that you guys want, and that I know that you want, because it resonates for all of us, maybe in different ways, but you need to be at a level of self-awareness and accountability that can hold a higher level of discomfort, but not in a dysfunctional way. I mean, a diamond is forged in the fire. And being in the fire is hot. And sometimes it really burns. But you have to be able to be with that in a radically responsible way, where you're not pointing the finger and blaming and shaming, but you're actually fully taking ownership of your side of the street and what's coming from you and your projections. And that's just a more advanced practice, you guys. A lot of people think they're ready, but then as soon as a relationship comes in, and then they're sabotaging it left and right and fucking things up and being not owning their stuff, and then being why is this such a hot mess? Because conscious relationship or conscious partnership is definitely a more advanced practice. Now, that doesn't mean you've got to be perfect. No one's perfect. I'm still reactive, but it's different. It's now when something upsets me, number one, I need to own it right away. And number two, I pivot out of it way faster because I have tools, because I have experience, because I know that the anger or the sadness or whatever the thing is that's arising, I have now spiritual practices and knowledge that I didn't have a couple of years ago that are helping me, navigate these things much easier. So, and you guys know the book, The Magdalene Manuscript, for me is still my Bible. That book to me feels like the closest representation of my life path, of the path of the people that are attracted to me in my work. And it's a book I use in all my spaces. And something that became really clear to me, I put out a free workshop, which won't be available much longer. So if you want it, get it. It's called Receive with Ease. It had a very specific aim, and I was offering a 6-week mentorship attached to that. But what I've decided after the last couple of years of trying a few different things was that I'm eliminating all of my short-term mentorship. None of them are gonna exist anymore. So if you want to get into that 6 weeks, do it, because it's going to be gone in 2 weeks or less. I ran 2-year-long women's groups, Rose Temple, and that was my favorite container because this type of work, this type of spiritual practice is not quick. I'm going to keep it real. One, it's not quick. It takes time. It takes space to integrate and to allow things to land. Embodiment, you cannot force it. You can't rush it. You just can't. It won't work. And number two, it requires your full commitment. Because if you're doing this and you're trying to keep like one foot out the door and you're half-assing it, I mean, you're not, one, you won't get a good result, but number two, it won't work. It will not work. And as a mentor, like that is not the vibe. Like I really want to work only with people who are 100% in. You have to be. This type of, like I said, this type of transformation is really activating. It's going to stir up all your shit. So if you're not all in, it's not a good fit. So I decided that moving forward, and again, I don't care if I work with 5 to 10 people one-to-one a year and that's it. I prefer that because I like small, intimate, and deep as far as work is concerned. So all of my mentorship are going to start, if you've never worked with me long-term, for 1 year commitment minimum. And then if we've worked together already, like then I'll offer a 6-month block. And that's it for one-to-one. I'll offer 90-minute intuitive readings. But everything else is going away. 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, 6, like all that stuff's going away. Because I'm realizing that it really requires a deep, deep commitment because this is devotional practice. At least the work that I do. So that's kind of my intro. So that's what that was a big breakthrough for me because I realized that's why other things weren't working. And it's not to say that you can't get a result in 6 weeks because everyone I've worked with got a result. But it's not the type of result that I want to facilitate because I really prefer time and space. You need the time. Even in Rose Temple for a year, people were in there for a year and were like, it wasn't enough time for what we were doing. Because I go really deep. And once you start to go deep and you open up your spiritual closet, your Pandora's box of shit, and everything gets stirred up, it's just disorienting. Like you're going to need to sift through things, and that isn't always a fast process. And I don't want to rush anyone, you know. And that's it. So that's my update. So get that workshop if you want it. If you want that 6-week spot, take it because it's disappearing. And there is an application, and I'm just calling the one-to-one space the year-long devotion because it's as simple as that. All right, so let's pull some cards and let's see what comes through. So that's what I've been up to. That's why I kind of came on temporarily but didn't continue because I knew that a few other things needed to land. So I'm going to pull from this Divine Feminine Oracle. I'll pull a couple of tarot cards and we'll just see what comes through. All right. I don't know. I don't want to take those. I don't feel like those are the ones. Let's see what I get. I'm going to pull it myself. Let's see. All right. Ooh, we're getting one of the Buddhist goddesses. Okay, so I'll pull 2 tarot cards before I tell you what I got here. All right, so underneath the deck is the Queen of Wands. This is my significator. Is that how you say it? Card. It's my card. This is like that fire sign, Leo, Sag, Aries energy. But in general, this card represents you in your like creative life force, your sexual life force energy lit up. Like this is the embodiment of like a creative, radiant human being. And that's the underlying energy, right? So this is kind of goals. You know what I mean? Like this is what most people are aiming for. In fact, I even called the 6-week mentorship Radiant Receptivity because radiance and magnetism is such an important part of receiving in a way that does feel easy, that doesn't feel like you're grasping and chasing, because you should not be doing either one of that. Is not necessary. You do not, anything that's meant for you, you're not going to have to grasp it and cling at it and claw for it. You won't. You will have to put in effort, but that graspy energy ain't it. So Queen of Wands underneath is like an underlying energy, and the other, I like to go to the underlying first because these are kind of like I see them as sort of the subconscious, what's influencing the rest of the cards. And we're getting Pope Joan, I gotta wear my glasses. Pope Joan, the Pontiff of Possibilities, and it says the possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless, and it's coming with the Two of Pentacles reversed. Because the juggling has got to stop. Whatever you're juggling. What are you juggling? You got to make a decision. But unfortunately, when we're in scarcity and we're like, I don't know, because you don't understand that the possibilities are limitless, because your soul is limitless, then you get graspy, as I was just saying, and you start to try to cling to one thing, or you can be really stubbornly attached to things working out in a certain way. And I am also guilty of this, so don't get it twisted. I do all the same shit, you guys. It's just like I said, I feel like I'm at a level where I can hold myself accountable and pivot out of it pretty fast as well. But this is giving me the energy of like, you are an incredibly creative, powerful, magnetic being. Maybe you're not feeling that in the moment. That's like I said, in the Magdalene manuscript, those are tantric meditations using your sexual energy and channeling it up the spine, circulating it around the brain. Like, they're very powerful meditations, and they help to activate, your sexual energy. But I will say that in the Receive with Ease freebie, I gave you guys free practices, and one of them is the erotic activation. It's an embodiment practice. It's like 20 minutes long. So feel free to use that and grab it. Like I said, it's there right now and it's free. So that's what I'm feeling. You're not seeing maybe your capacity right now to create what it is that you want. So you might be clinging or juggling multiple options. And as I said, I think I said this at the beginning of the reading, if we're there trying to juggle too many things, then it's like nothing is growing. And you might need to just take a pause and really reflect, like, what it is that you want. You're not going to have to fight that hard for it. I really believe that that's true. I think if you're fighting super hard for something, you're probably just in resistance. Maybe you don't want to see something. Maybe there's a little denial. Maybe there's fear or self-doubt or whatever, insecurity. But it's like when you drop when you stop juggling, the path is going to become clear. And I'm saying that because it's coming here, first card, Two of Swords. This is a stalemate. It's the same type of energy as this Pentacles. Except the Pentacles is like a physical energy. So this is like you're juggling stuff in your life, like activities, jobs, people, situations, whatever it is. There's too many balls in the air, trying to do too many things. And that's why nothing's really moving forward. And then we've got the mental energy here, air energy, stalemate. You're at a crossroads. It's okay to take that time to be still. Let me just check the time. Oh, perfect. It's fine to take a moment, really, to reflect, because it's coming with Tara, green Tara, and it says, the Buddha of enlightened action. Notice the word action in there. My soul informs my every step. I do what my heart compels me to do. But right now, you're not thinking with your heart. You're thinking with your head, because we're also getting the Knight of Pentacles. And yes, this is like the drudgery. This is like the hard worker. It's kind of like Virgo energy. No, nothing against Virgos. I have several in my life. My dad, my sister. But it's the energy of being loyal and committed and kind of slagging day to day. Like you're putting in the effort. It's slow. It's not happening quickly. And it is upright. But I'm going to clarify this because I really want to say that this energy, when applied in the right way to the right activity, is very fruitful. It's what I said in the beginning, devotion. Being devoted and fully committing and putting in that action every day, even if it's small, you're consistent with it. That's what grows. Because this moves to the King of Pentacles, and that's like the legacy card, the wealth, the real abundance. This is like you're on your way there, but you haven't quite made it there yet. And part of the reason why, let me clarify this before I talk about the Oracle card, because I'm getting a message and I want to see what we get. Okay, let's clarify this Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. Hierophant reversed. Let me get one more. Okay, yes. Oh my God, yeah. See how he's fighting? And he's like fighting off all these sticks. And then the Hierophant reverse is about being unconventional. Whatever you've been loyal to, like, what did I say before? If you have to fight that hard for something, it's probably not the right thing. Like the energy of this feeling like you're constantly defending yourself or defending your position because you feel like you need to be loyal, or you feel like that's the thing you need to be committed to, like that could be the problem in the first place. Like maybe you're not committed to the right thing. And that's the only reason why it's not working out. It's not that commitment is bad. It's not that putting in the work is bad. It's that you might not be focused in the right place, because we're getting the Black Madonna, the Our Lady of the Hermits. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. This is reversed. So what I picked up right away from this was like, you're in pain and suffering, but it's not transforming. It's just pain and suffering. Because it's like this drudgery. It's like, but I gotta be loyal. But it's like, why? Why are you loyal to your suffering? It doesn't have to be like this. But this is what we learn, you know? Someone taught you this. Someone modeled this. And you learned, oh, well, that's normal. That's why I said Virgo. Virgo in the shadow is the martyr. Where's my little violin? I'm working so hard for everything and everybody. Don't you feel bad for me? Feel sorry for me. Give me pity. Give me attention. I work so hard. No one's giving you a gold star for your martyrdom, you know what I'm saying? So learn to transform that pain and suffering. That's why, did I give you guys one of those? No. There's a purification practice, a Buddhist practice for this. I did a class a while back on it, or a freebie. I gave some of these practices. I don't know. I've done a lot of shit in the last year. At some point I put out some purification meditations, and I think I even did a workshop on this. Because there are ways to purify the pain and suffering. But what I'm feeling here is an allegiance to your pain that is unnecessary. But the loyalty and the commitment and the tenacity is not wrong. But something's got to give. It's like something, you need to break the mold. You got to break out of the box that you're in. Something that you think, like again, conventional, status quo, it's like a comfort zone. I said this yesterday. One of my favorite teachers ever was like, your comfort zone is where your dreams go to die. And it's true. The Hierophant is also a spiritual teacher, or like spiritual wisdom that can be shared with others, but it's in the reverse. So there could also be an element to this message of like, you have more to give to the world, but right now you need to learn how to transform that pain, because it's feeling like mud. Like as I'm feeling into these cards, it's feeling kind of sticky. And if you're using your head and not your heart, because there is no emotions cards, there's no cups cards here yet. I'm going to pull a couple more. So when you're in your head and it's like a head over heart thing, like there is a time and a place for logic. Don't get me wrong. If you only lead with your emotions, you might be led astray. Because sometimes we can be really dramatic and it might not be the right path. You know, you do need logic. But I'm not getting any cups cards here at all, and there is feeling like there's a necessity to listen to your heart this time. And it might be like the first time you've ever done it. Maybe you have a really big decision to make. So let's just ask for guidance. Like, what would be in your highest good to do in this position? I'll put those aside. Let's see, what's the guidance here moving forward? What's the guidance? I'm not going to look. I'm going to pull this one. Then I'm going to pull one of these. What's the guidance here? All right, we got Hestia, okay, the goddess of sanctuary, and then the Four of Swords. Yeah, because there is a need to go within. And this card, Hestia, is the goddess Vesta, so it's the same goddess, and this is like the goddess of home and hearth and sort of the interior world. And it says, no matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. You need to slow down right now. If you're like, I don't know, burnout, you're doing too much. You're all over the place. You're juggling so many things in life. Then the message here very much is that it's not, like, home is not this external thing. Yes, of course, we have our home, we need a place to live and all of that. But this is a deeper message. This is saying, like, you create the stability that you want inside first. And it really does work like that. And the reason that I learned this is when I was like in my late 30s, I was living with my parents still, and I was feeling really down about it because I was feeling like I was a failure. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me? Why am I still living with my folks? It's like nothing was really materializing for me in my work yet. I had gone through a big death period. But what I realized was, like, I wasn't trapped, but I was initially feeling trapped in that situation. Like, I felt like a prisoner. I'm like, oh, I'm stuck in the spare bedroom and I'm never going to get out of here. But that was my mindset. It needed to change. It helped with practice. I started meditating every day and incorporating a spiritual practice every day, because I knew that as soon as the inside felt free, the outside was the door was gonna swing open for me. And that's exactly what happened, because I started meditating this, like, in the pandemic. And then around the middle of, it was like spring, summer of 2021, I launched a group program, and that was it. Like, I moved out after like 5.5 years. So it had to happen internally first. And so if you're running all over the place or you're doing too much right now, like Spirit is saying, you got to drop some of those balls. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to be with the discomfort. It says you've got to learn how to transform that pain and suffering into love, not into just more pain. It can get really addictive. Pain is very addictive. Like, it's really seductive to stay in that, even though it feels like shit. And so home is wherever your inner sanctuary is your home. As within, so without, always. I'm going to get one more tarot card here. It could also be a change in your home, you know? Maybe you need a physical change too. I don't know. But really what I'm feeling with the Four of Swords is that this is an inner process that needs to happen. There needs to be a sense of stability within you. And that's what's going to help you transition into this next phase. Give me one more guidance here. And you've got it. Yeah, this is like you're seeing the negative. You're not seeing the positive here. This is all mindset stuff. Like, it's seeing the glass half empty when this is reversed. You're not seeing the blessing. There are two cups. I said there was no cups. I said I'll pull a cups card, watch. But it's in the reverse. The two cups are standing. The two cups are like the love card. Love, harmony, like balance, reciprocation. You're not seeing it. You're seeing all the shit that seems to be going wrong. And I get it. It's like easy to go there. I go there too. You know, I'm dramatic. I have a Scorpio moon. I'm like very emotional. And sometimes I really get dark. And I'm like, all right. But then I get there and my fire energy saves me. Because it's like, this sucks over here. Wallowing in this shit is not it. It's okay to feel things deeply. It's beautiful. But if you're not seeing the positive here, that's why you're feeling stuck. And so let's get one more oracle card on Vesta, and then I'll wrap it up. This is perfect. The M-I-A-O, Miao Shan, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. This is a very beautiful card, and the message around this card is that somebody needs your mercy. Is like empathy's twin sister. It's like feeling for another person, being in their, putting yourself in their shoes and understanding because you've been through something similar. And in the moment where you might want to cut someone down, cut them off, abandon them or whatever, it's like you choose to have mercy on them instead. It's like, I see the struggle, I've been there, but not only that, I'm going to not just empathize with you, but like I'm going to be generous in the moment when it would feel easier to hold back. This is the key to a real abundance, you guys. That's the key to real abundance, because the real key to prosperity is generosity. And people get it twisted, and yes, there is nuance to that. But in general, because it depends on your intention and your motivation. Like if you have an agenda and it's really mixed bag and it's weird energy, like yeah, you're going to get a mixed result with that. But the energy of generosity is literally the first of the 6 perfections. In Buddhism, there's the 6 paramitas, or perfections, and generosity is number 1. So everything you have in your life, everything you have is a result of generosity in this life or past lives. That's how they look at it. Anything you have is only because you were generous, that you gave first, and giving is receiving. But it's really easy. Like I said, can I be a petty bitch? You better believe it. I'm doing my best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have dark thoughts and then I'm like, clean it up. It doesn't mean I don't have them. There are definitely times when it feels easier to just cut ties, cut off, ignore, avoid, be like, sucks to be you, or whatever with people, especially if there's been like conflict or misunderstanding or whatever. It's not easy to be compassionate always. That's the real spiritual. Compassion is a very high spiritual practice. But honestly, like, when I get past a mood swing, or I'm sure you guys can relate, when you get past that negative feeling and you're like, okay, let me drop into my heart. For me, it always shifts. Like, I'm always like, okay, I can extend compassion. But it doesn't always feel like the most natural thing in the moment. But generally speaking, there are moments when this will be asked of you and it will feel really challenging. And it will be a gateway into the next chapter of your life, or into a new situation, into a healing moment, whatever it is. You're going to have to be generous in the moment where you don't want to be. Where it would be easier to be angry or rude or whatever. That's what I feel. And just under the deck, we're getting, Knight of Swords reversed. Don't be impulsive here, like with your speech either. Like, if you've been wanting to be reactive and say something really nasty, or like, just, I don't know, be wise with your words, I want to say. Like, be mindful of your reactions. Because every reaction creates a result later. Again, karma, laws of karma. Every cause has a result. Even a small moment of anger is creating a bigger moment of anger later. Guaranteed, because that's just how it works. So be mindful. This isn't what's going to solve the issue. If anything, hold back until you can feel that love expanding in your heart, and then it might be time to act. But you're going to have to do that piece of it, right? Like it said in the beginning, transform that pain and suffering into love. Yeah. And under the deck, Mary Magdalene, baby. I love that she showed up, because I was definitely giving her a shout out. It says, I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. You know, Mary just wanted to come and give a little wink, and Kali is under there. So this is endings and beginnings. It's deep, powerful shifting. Boom, like a bomb hits, but then, like, after the storm goes by, there's clarity. Something wants to end so that something new can begin. But it's like you're being asked to be the bridge, you know, between the spiritual piece of things and the material piece of things. Because your life is unfolding and there are material events and things happening. But, like, have the spiritual wisdom to try and bridge the gap in a loving, compassionate way. And not in this, like, old reactive way that's creating the same pain loop over and over and over again. It's like, again, work smarter, not harder. But this is really sticking out to me, this, like, generosity card. That, like, to be merciful. To give mercy where you want to give more pain, or you want to, whatever, tell somebody off. I don't know what you want to do. But it's just like, this is your moment to really put... It's like, take it off the mat. It's easy to do the yoga in a nice yoga studio with all your yogi friends, but can you take your yoga practice to the office with your boss that's being an asshole? That's the real spiritual practice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave you guys with that so I don't run out of time here. And if you want a 90-minute reading, an intuitive reading, I'm offering those. So I've got the link for those below if you want a personal reading. And as I said, I'll have one-to-one mentorship, obviously very limited spaces because it is for a year, or if we've worked together 6 months. But the application for that is also below, and the link to the Receive with Ease. Get it while it's hot, because that's going to go away. And that's it. I love you guys. I'll be back soon with another one of these.